hacen, Paul?
Veo cosas.
El profeta no veo qué tiene de malo. ¡Úsalo!
Todas mis visiones conducen al horror.
Dune Part 2 is absolutely amazing. It blew me away completely. Congratulations, and it's so good to have Gurney back. He is in the film, quite late in the film, right? But he's a very important part in Paul's journey. Tell me, how has he evolved from part 1 to part 2?
I think first and foremost, he's probably incredibly brokenhearted. But with Gurney, it comes out like anger and gruffness and just dissatisfaction. So he's with these guys, and he's somewhat of a criminal now, and he's, you know, manifesting at least whatever joy he can, which is not coming out joyfully with his balisette and all that. But you know, I mean, he feels like he's lost everything that he stood for is gone. So his hair's grown out. He's lost weight. He's out in the desert now. He's not in his native planet and all that. But then when he sees Paul for the first time out in the desert, I think it's my favorite moment, at least selfishly, with that character in the movie, where you just see this joy overwhelm him, this vulnerability and joy when he sees Paul. It's really nice. That's Denis. That's not me. That's definitely Denis.
I like that you mentioned vulnerability, because you also share scenes with our Javier Bardem. I've heard you talk about how much you love each other, how much you loved doing scenes with him. Tell me about, you know, sharing those scenes with him, because I felt like even though there were small moments, I think you brought your banter. Brings lightness and humor.
It's funny because, you know, Denis and I talked about that. We talked about like how much we want to, and then what happens is you're on set, and then the natural kind of instinct takes over. And I think we wanted to do a lot more, and I don't know, maybe I'm sad that we didn't, because that was the first time I was on camera with Javier. It's the first time ever in 17 years. So I think we were both kind of, it was an awkward thing also, which I think worked for the movie. But yeah, I mean, I adore that human being. I think he's one of the great, not only do I think he's one of the great actors, truly, of any generation. I think he's incredible, and he's played so many different characters, but he's just a good man.
Yeah, he's our pride and
joy. I know he is. Yeah. I know he is. 4-time Goya winning.
Yes, Oscar winning. So you've been involved in this film more than as an actor. Let's talk about the book, because I would have liked to brought it here, but I didn't have time because it was released just yesterday.
Yeah,
right?
yesterday.
So you released a book about Dune with photography from Greg Fraser, from yourself, and text from you, poems which people are loving on social media, about the actors, about your co-stars. Tell me about that. What inspired you to write that and to participate?
Well, I mean,
in that?
first of all, it came out of, we've done 2 books, and the first one was more expensive. It was less affordable. It was, I think we were pushing it too. We called it our punk rock book. You know, we were like, we're going to do it our way, and we're going to do it the way we want to do it. But it was an idea that came out of Tanya Lapointe and Denis. And she was like, you know, she knew my writing, and then Greg obviously started taking pictures prompted by Denis during the filming, and even though he had so much responsibility, he would pop a picture here and there, and the pictures are incredible, and most of them, if not all of them, are film. Anyway, this was us calming down a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's definitely no arrogance in it, but there's some confidence in it. I think the writing's better. They're not all poems. Some of them are prose pieces, some of them are dialogues and all this kind of stuff. But I think it's an insight that nobody could ever have but this family that was created into the behind-the-scenes realities that we experienced. I think it's very true to what we experienced.
Can't wait to read.
Really. Oh, good, man.
Dune could be described as a utter blockbuster, right? You have worked with Marvel, with other, many other big budget films. Is it different to be inside a big machine like this, you know, with a vision as personal as Denis?
Yeah, and it's well put. And it's not a machine. It's like other things are a machine, and they have, you know, with Marvel, and I loved doing Marvel, I would never put that experience down because I love the Russos, I love Kevin Feige, I love that whole experience. But it was a, you know, it was a 10-year moment, whereas this is its own moment. And I think those two movies came across as their own moments, and they had their own, you know, kind of trajectory. But Dune is a very personal experience to Denis, and he made it very personal for us. I think that's one of the reasons why it's so practical. You know, he wanted to be out in the sand. He wanted it to be difficult. I like that personally. I think that's why he and I get along so well. So there were no trailers. There was no comfort. There wasn't any of that. And out of that, you have a very personal, familial experience that comes from that, whether anybody wants it or not. It's inevitable.
That sticks from the screen.
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
good.
so,
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
So my time's up. Thank you so much
All
for your
right,
time.
man. What a
Josh.
pleasure.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Really nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Haré lo que sea necesario.
Les hemos dado esperanza.
¡Eso no es esperanza!